Julie is in the waiting room. Can someone let her in, please?
Madam Chair, the chair of the board is on.
Thank you. Good evening, Julie.
Good evening. Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you. Same to you. We need one more person to be in the room in order for us to have quorum.
No, don't we have enough? Four? We had four with public safety last night. That was a quorum.
Our committee is 9.
Oh, I see.
This would be an EC member.
He an EC member?
Doesn't count towards quorum.
Oh, wow, I'm learning.
We'll give everyone one more minute, and then we'll ask Mr. Fata to present. So this way, if we don't have quorum, we can then present it live at the meeting. Okay?
Let me know when you want me to unmute him, ask to unmute.
Unmute
Oh,
him.
he did it already.
He did it
Using me.
already. We can get started. I'm hearing an echo.
Trying to hear an echo? No.
Good evening and welcome. Hearing an echo.
No, you're hearing yourself on Pablo's computer.
The echo I'm hearing.
Pablo, turn it down to you because she's hearing herself talking to your computer.
Good evening and welcome to the December Traffic and Transportation Committee for Community Board 8. I am Kelly Buford. I am the chair of the Traffic and Transportation Committee. With me in the room are members Mary Ellen Gibbs, Sylvia Alexander, and Ingrid De Leon. I note that committee members Gelman, Land, Lobos, and Morris are not present. Chris Calhoun is available under extraordinary circumstances. And I note that for the purposes of this meeting right now, we do not have quorum, but before we move to any matters that are voting, we can, I will ask that Mr. Fata from SAR Academy. I thank you for joining us this evening. Your organization requested a street activity permit, and if you would please explain to us the nature of your request.
Good evening, of course. So February 3rd, we have our annual SAR dinner where we expect the probably anywhere from 800 to 1,000 people attending. And we are requesting that we I guess have no parking on 259th Street from the corner of Riverdale Avenue to Netherland Avenue, as well as the dead-end street of Netherland Avenue going back to, I believe, which you could say, I guess it's 258th Street, right up to the supermarket, the Seafood Supermarket, which is the back alleyway of that. And so that we can have additional parking as needed. We will have valet parking for the event, as well as security and hopefully some NYPD from assistance from the 50th precinct if available. We will also, just to make so everybody knows, we will have additional parking. We use our lot at the school, as well as a lot on Riverdale Avenue across the street that's owned by Chestnut Holdings. And hopefully the parking lot to St. Margaret's Church as well.
What are the actual hours of the event?
So the event itself will start at 6. but I guess we would need preparation throughout the day to make sure that no one's parking there. Obviously, we cannot ask people to move their car at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It might not work. We might not have enough time for that, but the event will start at 6. There and that's pretty much it. And then it'll end hopefully around 11, 12, between 11 and midnight.
Have you contacted the precinct regarding the permit?
I have not. First, I wanted to do the permit as we would do first, and then once this is approved, obviously we'll contact them. But we are in close contact with the 5-0, so I can definitely reach out to them tomorrow. We've done it before in the past, and we just basically asked for no parking on 259th Street, never on Netherland Avenue. But we would love to get both as well if we can.
Thank you. And when was the last time you held the event where you had the streets reserved for you?
Probably 6 years ago. We haven't done the dinner at the school in a while, of course, because of COVID and other reasons. And then I guess before COVID, we had it at 2 different other venues other than SAR.
And approximately how many parking spaces are you looking to cordon off?
Well, I mean, I don't know how many cars are able to park on 259th Street on both sides of the road. But we actually don't want any cars parked on on both sides, so that when we do have our attendees arrive, we didn't want to cause any traffic, so we would have both sides of the street empty without any parking. And then so as guests will pull up, our valet company will take their cars and go park them for them.
Okay, so what you're indicating is that your preference is to not have 250 vehicles parked on 259, even though the school will not use those spaces?
Correct. It's just to keep the traffic flowing so that we don't have 800 people showing up at the same time, dropping off in front of the building as well. We're going to use our driveway as well to bring in. I'm sure we'll have about 20-30 cars at a time pull up, so we'll start in our driveway, and then obviously the rest will end up in the street. It'll be continuous for probably a good hour or more.
And you mentioned that the event actually starts at 6. But
Correct.
you're requesting that the street be blocked from 7 a.m.?
Yeah, I mean, well, we would put no parking signs. I mean, most people, whoever would leave, I would assume. But again, the reason why we would ask for no parking early in the morning is that if you put parking in the afternoon, nobody's going to notice it, or we have to put it out the night before so that they know not to park there the day after, the next day.
Thank you. Does anyone in the room have any questions? Any committee member? Sylvia? He would need to get the permit. They would need to secure the permit, but the first step is to have us review the application. Chris Calhoun, do you have any questions?
You muted.
Mute yourself, Chris, please. Trying. I see him trying.
No, I don't have any questions at this point. Thank you, Kelly.
Chair Reyes, do you have any questions? Please unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Thank you. It's 2 questions. I'm sorry, I missed it. What date is this request for?
So the event itself is on February 3rd, which is a Saturday.
February 3rd. Okay, and have you spoken with anyone at the Key Food, possibly utilize Key Food lot? Because this is a big ask with Skyview right behind, with so many people needing parking, and
So we did ask Skyview as well to let us use some of their parking later in that evening, and they agreed to give us as well.
And what about Key Food?
Key Food, yeah, Skyview, well, Skyview, Key Food. The shopping center is what I mean, Skyview Shopping Center.
Okay. So you basically want the street closed off, not for the use
I don't
of,
want it closed off, I just want no parking.
no parking, but not for the use of parking, just for
Correct,
the use of the convenience for your
Correct.
guests.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
You have notice into, this precinct that you're having the event that day?
Well, we're gonna be in touch we haven't been in touch with them, but we will be once. I guess we get your approval.
Right, and also, are you having your own school security also as well, or?
Yeah. Yeah, we will have our own school security. We also, for this event, we always reach out to the 50th precinct. They do send some auxiliary police as well as regular officers as for the event.
I do not have any, additional questions. Ingrid, do you have a question? Okay, okay. I wanted to make sure that no one in the room had any, other questions. What we will do, Mr. Fata, is we will, have the office contact you regarding, our determination. What we may have to do, because right now technically we do not have quorum, so what I will need to do is to present this to the full board at the January meeting, the early January meeting. That would be January 10th.
Mhm.
My memory serves me correctly.
Nine?
Is it
I think it's nine.
January 9, and then we will, contact you regarding, the permit.
Okay,
But I thank you for your time today,
thank you.
and we will be in touch, definitely.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night. Have a good night, and have a happy new year.
You too, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome to stay on the call if you like, but I know that, you may have other things to do.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good
You're
night.
welcome. Thank you. Have a good night. Thanks. So, because we don't have a quorum, we technically don't have a quorum, we can't vote on the matter, so I will need to present this to the, did we hit the recording?
Yes.
Okay. We will need to present this at the full board meeting in January, okay? And I will prepare a resolution, but first I would like your thoughts. And
That, usually those events are big events. We haven't even spoken to the 50th yet, and like, you're gonna have Skyview people that live going up that street. Like, it sounds like a disaster in the making.
okay, but he's indicating that he's not losing he just doesn't want the parking
Right.
there, so they
Yeah, I
won't
wouldn't want it either
impact.
for security reasons.
So they will have means of ingress and egress in and out
Right.
there, so that shouldn't be an issue from that perspective.
But then again, they'll have the auxiliaries or whatever directing traffic. in
Right.
that block, so.
So we can't vote on that. We can't vote on the minutes. We'll have to table those to the next meeting. Okay, I will give my chair's report. The chair's report is that we did have a great meeting, a great walking tour with, DOT. We looked at 5 sites, and they seemed open to readjusting some of them, and we identified certain areas where they could probably shift some of the bikes to. One of which was because they have 2 spaces on Cortlandt Park South, they may be able to move one of those stations over to Dickinson Avenue and put them back to back. That would still result in the loss of 2 parking spaces over there, but those are back-in angle parking spaces. So you would be losing 2 over there, but if they moved that entire station, it would likely gain 3 on the other side. So they would get more there.
Right.
Okay, and still have their deliverable. What I also learned from DLT was that the reason they installed, them close together was because of their model that they typically use. And their model is the nesting. So if someone needs to drop off a bike, to deter people leaving the bikes on the sidewalk, then they will have someplace to dock the bike. So that's why they were put close together. We did express concern. They did say that typically what they do is they leave things in place for a year before they make any adjustments, because they want people to get used to it being there. And we indicated to them that while we understand that that's their process, if there's anything that can be done, we should do it. And we are going to meet with them again in January, so we can come up with a plan to look at some of the other areas in the district, so this way they can look at it in its totality, because we did express concern regarding that, and we indicated that a year is really too long, because we're not comparing apples to apples in every part of the district, and there are some areas seem to be oversaturated, and then there's nothing. And so they understood that. I did raise with them, Chris, the 2 stations on Marble Hill Avenue, and, you know, and I also pleaded with them to look at that again because of the loss of 8 to 10 parking spaces from the Broadway Bridge project, you know, and so you cannot, you know, just do these things without taking everything into consideration. So they said they understood and they would look at everything again. What they're going to do also is to also give us data, the link to the data, so we can get real-time usage. We can sort of parse out the usage at each site to see how it's being used. And then this way, this will help also.
Was there any talk about the effect, I remember that we are at the last meeting very upset because the community there is elderly and they're not going to use the bikes?
Yes,
And there are too many groupings of bikes?
yes, we did discuss that with them. They did, what they are doing is they're going to give us the recap of all the sites that we've identified so far. But the issue that we had, or the concern that we had, was when we got there were no bikes there. So to them, that's an indication that they're being used, right? So that's where it's critical for us to then start looking at the real data. And actually, this month will probably be the first month that they will have that, because if I recall, the bikes were installed in late October. So they would have one full usage in the month of November, and then we should be able to see data starting next month for that. So that was the concern. But for each of the stations that we reviewed, there were approximately 5 parking spaces per station, which is a lot. And that's larger than what was shared with us during the meeting. And so that's why they're looking at it also. But to be continued, and when we have that meeting, what I will do is invite all the committee members. You know, you're welcome to sit in on the calls also. We're not going to do another walking tour. It was kind of blustery on Tuesday. But at least it wasn't the rain that we had on Monday, right? But, you know, they did, you know, indicate that they were willing to work with the community, but they did also say that typically what happens is they give things a year before they make any adjustments. But given all the other projects that are going on in the area, they are willing to, you know,
let me just say something as far as the year is concerned. DOT is very famous for doing that. And the, diet on Riverdale Avenue was supposed to be a 3-year period. And I wonder when that's up, and we should be on top of it.
We can actually look at them, ask them for additional information on the Riverdale Avenue Road diet.
You know, that is a disaster by the post office. There's no,
What's the
usually no
cross street?
parking there.
What's the cross street for the post office? The cross street, what's the cross street? Do you remember the cross street? Yeah, is that 261? It's in the middle of the block. What was the closest street?
North of, 259.
Okay,
When, my daughter takes me up there, cause the other one closes on 238. And, if she's lucky, she can get it by curb,
right.
but if she's not, she's in traffic. And, they don't stop, they go very quickly, and it's a very dangerous thing. I mean, they have to give us another lane or something.
Crazy.
And that was implemented last September, correct?
Remember we met in person the first time in St. Margaret's? That's when it was implemented.
So that was
Just finished.
22, so they should have data for us. And they said they would look at it, I believe they indicated they would look at it after 1 year.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah. I mean, we're in that 1 year now.
Yeah. Reach out.
Like they would, like they said they were gonna go back to the Palisade Avenue thing. Remember DOT made those extra sidewalks? Remember 27 Palisade Avenue was flooded due to
Okay,
the
okay.
big tonsils in the street, big cement, 'cause I used to live right next door, in David Gelman's building. And, they said they were gonna get back and make a survey of that and see, maybe make some changes, because they keep on getting flooded. They had you gotta see this old sandbag, it looks ridiculous. And if you remember, they said that they were gonna build up that sidewalk so they wouldn't get flooded and then charge the building for it and all that, but we never heard anything else
I
after that.
thought they did some mitigation measures.
Never heard back from them, I don't think.
No, I'm almost certain, because the people from 27, I think, would still be in the room if they hadn't done something.
Especially after Monday, maybe, it was.
Right, so,
It'd be a good idea to get back to them, just to make sure that.
I think that I saw them, a while ago, bring back the sidewalk.
sidewalk.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But maybe a good idea just to.
Maybe it's going into the, where it's.
It's where it's supposed to go. Right, yeah, because that was the
Make sure that
concern.
it did, yeah, 'cause that was nuts.
Yes,
I think you would've heard.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
think.
but it'd be nice to let them know that we're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
We're very upset.
No, I think they were very, satisfied with the results once they did a little bit of a modification to the curb
Well, I'm
there.
glad they did, 'cause that,
It actually went down it flowed in the right direction.
they said, oh, the water will make a right. I go, how does the water know which way to walk? I was,
Okay, so that's all I had for my chair's report. For old business, I have not received any other old business other than the city bike issue. We will keep city bike top of mind. We will ask people to send us their concerns. I believe, and this is not an exaggeration, we received in excess of 50 complaints regarding the city bike installations
imagine.
throughout the district. And I also impressed upon DOT to not only, it's great that they come to the community board meetings, but recognize that not everyone attends the community board meeting. So even if, the community board, agrees with them and they're going to do the rollout of something, I suggested to them that they still need to put up signage throughout, communities to give people a heads up, at least a week
Exactly.
before they actually do something.
I was thinking too, for some old business, that now we have the budget, like cram it at the last minute, maybe start in January and start.
That was my my new business item, so you
We might think alike.
segued right into my new business.
So, could I interrupt you for a
Sure.
moment? As far as my issue on West 230 Mississippi is concerned, they said the end of the month. So when the end of the month comes, can you, get in touch with DOT?
Sure,
And ask them what they're going to do to correct it?
sure. Yes, they did indicate that they had their study.
Hold them
Yes,
fire.
yes, yes, they did say that
Time.
they would have your study available, by the end of December. That was
Right.
their, anticipated, return date. So yes, I can follow up with them regarding 235 in Oxford. Anything else for old business? New business? New business. Reminder, we have to start working on, I believe it's the 26 budget, the FY 26
Yeah,
budget.
we're up to that.
Okay. So when we return in January for the next meeting, if you all could come with some ideas for things that need to be worked on in the district, that would be helpful. And then at the January meeting and the February meeting, we'll come up with our ideas. March, we'll start massaging the data and prioritizing them, and then in April, we'll submit it, to the chair of the budget, committee.
Be a good idea, because sometimes we get to that other point and we're cramming it all together and then.
We have some items from last year that we
Right.
can, review, and what I will do for the next meeting, or in advance of the next meeting, is to give, everyone a list of the budget priorities for,
Some of the steps,
yes, for fiscal year 25.
work during the winter.
Well, now they're cutting the budget so much, God help us.
Yes. Exactly. Yes, Chris, unmute yourself.
Oh, yeah, I might have to, hold on.
Hold on, she's gonna mute you.
on.
Hello, ladies, and I hope I can see you all there. Sylvia, Mary Ellen, Ingrid, Kelly. I'm very sorry, but I want to wish you all a happy holiday, and Kelly especially, I'm glad you brought up the city bike thing that I brought up to you regarding Marble Hill Avenue. And I just wish you seasoned greetings to all, and I'm glad I could tune in tonight.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you zooming in. Have a merry one. Is there anything else that anyone would like to discuss?
So,
And may I ask you a question?
yes,
What's your name?
Brett.
Thank you, Brett.
I just want to say, first of all, I can appreciate the fact that there's a lot of people who've been complaining about the city bikes and that they need parking and that they have cars and that they're trying to, go about their day. They might not have a driveway, or they might need it in order to pick up groceries or to pick up people. I want to say that, first of all, that I appreciate all of that. And here's the but. A lot of people that I know around the neighborhood, a lot of people are still excited to have city bikes here in Riverdale. And I think a lot of them, like, they don't even know what a community board is, let alone know how to represent themselves at a community board. So, as much as, definitely I understand why there are complaints about it. A lot of the people who are for it, they may not be able to have a voice at this table. I just want to be that voice.
We appreciate your voice. And what I will say to you and to your neighbors, that there are major pockets within the community board district that don't have city bikes right now. And per DOT, that's for the next phase of the installation. We've asked them to, and you've been at many of the meetings where we've asked them to look at areas west of Irwin Avenue, particularly at the Metro North stations, where that would be a prime location to have them, and other, areas.
Not even near the parks that we have even.
Right.
Like
Seton Park,
Yeah, that would be great, and they don't put nothing there.
right, but they haven't done that, yet. So that is in part of their next phase, and that is something we will continue to ask them for, is to put the bikes in Riverdale, because also, it appears, and optics are everything, right? That you're not listening to people on one side of the road or the other side of the road, right? And you're oversaturating and you're forcing it on people, and we can't have that. So our goal is to work with DOT to make sure that they understand the community's concerns, the district's concerns, that this is actually something that people in Riverdale are asking for, but unfortunately, they go by, in many cases, zip codes, and then they look at the the various neighborhoods, and that's where they concentrated on the initial installation, and now they're going to focus on where to put it, the next phase of it. So we hear you.
Because I always felt that way of Riverdale, because with a lot of things, we always said, oh, you know, we're Riverdale, we're not gonna get that. We're never gonna get that. They put everything everywhere else, but never in 10463.
Right. But we've said to them, you know,
Right, there's a lot of meetings.
is a lot of meetings.
Independence Avenue, they can.
Independence Avenue, there's Wave Hill up there. There's
Exactly. You ride the bike
they
to
can
Wave
use
Hill,
it right from the train station. You can just take them over there. There are a number of,
Park and ride on, up and down Independence Avenue. Take from Independence Avenue to the Metro North, another Metro North to the train station down the hill.
right,
More sense.
right. And they did mention the two locations on Van Cortlandt Park South. They said that those locations were selected because of their proximity to the park, and we reminded them that
Green up here too.
exactly.
We have actually two, Seton Park, and then we have Cape Park Seton Park.
Right. So,
Could I make a suggestion?
Sure.
For the people who feel that they have a voice at the table? Community board encourages their, participation, and they can write letters or
Mhm.
emails or whatever, so that they are heard. They're certainly welcome to our meetings, so I hope that you'll tell them that, and that we're really not shutting anybody out.
When they write a letter, we do bring it up at the.
We do bring it up.
meetings.
and it becomes part of the public record, number one. And number two is, you're here, right? So you can bring a friend with you when you come to each of the meetings, and you can encourage them, or participate via Zoom if they want. And it's not only when there's an issue that's close to them that people should get involved. I think people should come to all meetings, or as many as they can. This way they can understand what's going on and figure out, you know, all of the issues within the district, so that no one feels slighted. Because that's never the goal, and that's not why the community boards, one of the reasons the community boards were established was to give regular people the opportunity to have a voice in government. Okay, so they're welcome to the meetings, just like you're here faithfully every month, and we thank you. And you can have them come to the general board meetings also. Those are, you know, more of the in-person and where they have more space. But if they want to come to any of the public safety, ECLA, aging, you know, health and hospitals, public safety is generally in person, is at the 50th precinct every month. But everything else is usually hybrid, so they can always participate via Zoom. Raise your hand.
No, I was making sure there's nobody in the waiting room.
Okay, is there anything else anyone would like to discuss? Madam Chair, would you like to make any additional comments? Mute her.
Idea. Let's give her a voice. Madam Chair, unmute yourself. Would you like to talk to us?
Hi. No, I just want to thank you for always having a great meeting. I truly enjoy your meetings. Informative,
Thank you.
and you can have a good group there. And Chris, I love
Thank
your tree. I'm jealous.
Best I can, I'm doing the best I can. It's only 72. Back to you at the news desk, Kelly.
Oh, thank you, Chris. You had to share that bit of information. Thank you. We'll live vicariously through you. But thank you. But thank you, everyone. To echo Julie's sentiments, I am really enjoying my tenure, as your chairperson this year. I appreciate everyone's time and attention. And I wish everyone a very happy new year. Stay safe, be well, and if you're in crowded places, please mask up because COVID and RSV and the flu are running rampant, okay?
MG.
It's okay. And get your, yes,
Already got mine.
great. And with that, I will,
Make a motion to
yes, make a motion to,
adjourn the meeting?
okay? Thank you, everyone. Have a happy, safe, healthy holiday season. I look forward to seeing everyone in 2024. Thank you. Stay safe, be well.
Take care, everybody. Happy New Year.
Everybody.
Oh.
Josh.
She can come, no, we can vote. Hit the button. Ingrid. We're not ending, we're not adjourning the
It
meeting.
looks like a.
You can go, or if you want, you can stay on.
No, here. Hit the key button.
The key.
Let me look at key. Nope, yep.
That's the key button.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yes.
So if you want, you can stay on and we can continue with the meeting.
Moved.
You talk to me.
Yes, Chris.
Yeah, okay, I'll stay on. There's what's going on in SoFlo. I'll stay on.
Okay, thank you. All right, Josh. Since Josh is here, we can actually, give him the attendance sheet. It's next to you. Attendance sheet. Since you're here, we can actually approve the minutes. We can, I need to call the meeting back in session.
Make a motion to call back in session, right? We have to do that? Yes. Okay, make a motion.
Second.
I'm learning, I'm a vice chair, I'm learning, have to learn these things. I have to take Josh out of the, I have to take you out of detention.
So,
How are you?
Josh, thank you for joining us. We officially have a quorum now.
Put your John Hancock on there.
So, does anyone, I have comments about the minutes.
And when you did the minutes, you put me as a community member.
No, I did that. He didn't have, that was me. That was all me.
I was like,
That was me. He didn't have anyone listed there, so I copied and pasted from an older set of minutes. So that was my fault. So don't blame Josh, blame me.
said it last night, that's the only reason why I said that.
No, don't, it was,
Lumped.
it was me. But see, I said I did it, not Josh. Okay, does anyone, my corrections to the minutes, because I went to the place where the gentleman was talking about the two dead-end streets. Yes, the two dead-end streets, and they're actually not 231st and 237th. It's 236. And the other street is Vervreelen.
Where's that?
Yes, you do. It's right next to Banco de Ponce.
Oh, down 231st Street.
Yes,
Okay.
it's Vervreelen Place.
I've lived here since 1971, and half the things in between there, I was like, where's that?
It's Vervreelen Place. But I did look at the areas, and while I'll ask Pablo to reach out to sanitation, because DOT said they would do whatever the sanitation rules were, and then look at the signage there. I do have pictures which I'll share with the office, for the two locations. But the signage, even though it says 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., no parking,
Yeah, I remember.
people are still parking there, right? So, his thing was, they're parking there, why are we still have that signage there? It seems to me that it's old, so they can look at it. And also, to where he wanted the dead-end streets opened, I don't think that could happen, because where they come out of the parking lot on Vervreelen, out of the Broadway Plaza, that's part of their turning lane, even though cars are parked
Right.
there, it's actually a no parking at that
Right.
portion of it, and that's,
I always get that mixed up. So no standing, no parking, which is the one you cannot, even if you have that permit,
that's the no parking.
that's no parking, right?
No standing is, you can let people drop off, but if there's no parking, it's the red sign.
The red
The
sign.
red sign is no-go. You're not supposed to be there at all.
Remember, I said it across the street from me, and they never put the sign back, the people getting ticketed there, you have that in the minutes, right, I think? 'Cause I had brought it up. On Netherland Avenue, I said across on Netherland Avenue between 232 and 231, it's on the back of 322 Arlington.
Okay,
They were doing construction, so they took that sign down. They
Okay.
put that big thing that sticks out, but they never put the no standing sign back.
so we
Yet they're
need to,
ticketing people in there, and I brought it up at the last minute. I mean, the last meeting, that meeting. I heard them talk about that.
the construction still going on?
No. People are getting ticketed like crazy and booted, no less. They're coming and booting them for parking there.
Can you,
It's on the back, it's on Netherland Avenue, but on the back of 3220 Arlington Avenue. It's their back of the building, because their garage comes out there.
back of 3222 Arlington?
3220. It's across from 3220 Netherlands, so give more an idea of exactly where it is. Was a no standing sign right outside that garage, and they never put it back after the construction, so everybody's getting booted, ticketed, coming out in a big NYPD booters on their car. Ouch.
Okay,
Every morning when I come out, I'm going, ooh.
okay.
Thank you, Kelly. No, Netherland Avenue, I mean, 3220. Big gargantuan thing they built that doesn't,
So, those were the changes to the locations of the Broadway issues. Those were my corrections to the minutes.
do I have to say, make a motion to correction, or no?
Yeah, you can make a motion
To correct.
to approve the minutes with the noted corrections.
Make a motion to approve the minutes with the noted corrections.
Is there a second? Does anyone wish to oppose the acceptance of the minutes? Hearing nothing and seeing no hands on the Zoom, then the minutes are approved with the noted corrections. He raised his hand. He didn't.
Disapprove? No?
Thumbs up or thumbs down, Chris?
Approve?
Approved from SoFlo, yes.
Okay. Josh, you were not here for the presentation for Star Academy, the street closure, the curb lane closures. What is the consensus in the room and on the call? Do you all
I
wish
make a motion to approve it.
to approve
So you're always having an event?
on February 3rd, they wanted to close off, just the curb lanes, not the traffic lanes, to prevent people from parking there on February 3rd. And so you're in favor? Sylvia, are you in favor? Mary Ellen?
Yes.
Britt, yes, I'm in favor. Chris, are you in favor?
I'm okay with a short street, and for the time they're gonna take it, I don't have a problem with it.
I have more problems with all the movie shoots that I see being and movie shoots. I'm not saying that I have a problem with it per se, but I have a problem in the rollout of those things, is what I'm saying. Is because you look up and then they say you can't park in your own neighborhood for 3 days. And I know it makes a little bit of money for the city.
Services.
Okay,
The food's good.
okay.
Very rare that someone comes along and asks for that kind of a favor.
Favor, yeah.
And I don't understand why, they haven't really, submitted the application for the event. And they're putting all the onus on the parking.
Right.
So maybe they won't even have it there. Maybe they'll go someplace else.
The event itself is inside,
Right.
is in the school, so they just want the parking, you know,
That's
yeah,
Actually, I
so,
didn't think of
yeah,
that.
so the event is, that's why I was asking what time was the event starting.
Right.
But they can certainly put in the request.
I don't blame them
We
for
have
not
to-
having parked cars there because of
Right.
security issues.
It's for, you know, the precinct to really determine actually, you know, what it is, and we can say that, you know, we approve. We'll go back to them, I'll let Pablo know, And we did achieve quorum, so we don't have to hold things over till the next meeting, because that's how things get lost. So thank you, Josh, for coming in.
Josh, to save the day.
Exactly.
Mighty Mouse.
Now,
Oh,
I,
wait, this guy's hands up.
yes, Chris?
Let me ask you something. Going back to that event, they just tore down, the bank, that school. Can't they use that for parking and overflow or whatever? I mean, it's totally leveled.
What, what bank?
Citibank, they knocked it down on Riverdale Avenue.
Um,
Because they're gonna
Capital
put their
One-
school there.
that was the Capital One Bank.
Total,
Capital One Bank. I was like, don't say Citibank.
part of their, taking up parking, and this is a concern to the community. You know what? Use that for temporary parking. That's just a thought. It's right across from St. Margaret's.
Is it blocked off though with the green thing, like usually when they do a construction?
They also indicated that they were working with St. Margaret's to use their parking lot, for overflow also, and they're going to have valet parking, for the event. They were doing the curbs so this way they won't have traffic buildup. So then no one can park there, it should be free flowing, save for people having to stop at lights.
Well, that's a large group to bring
Oh,
in
it was
to,
just, I didn't know.
150.
Say that again, Chris?
It was just a thought. I didn't know. I just know that they demolished that whole stretch of the block, and I thought, wow, it's all gone, and throw cars in there for the time being before you expand the school. That was just my thought.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so taking care of new business, old business, so I'm gonna ask the question again.
Motion to adjourn?
Okay, does anyone oppose? Well, thank you, thank.
Second.
Second, Ingrid second, I raised saw her hand, I acknowledge her hand. Thank you, Chris, for joining us.
Thank
Have a
you
wonderful holiday season, and Chris, we'll talk to you soon.
Happy Festivus.
I'll be back before you know it.
Say
Yes.
hello to Snoopy and Linus and.
I can't hear anything you say, but I can hear Mary Ellen Gibbs and the giggle going on. That ain't sitting right with me.
It's all good, it's all good.
That's it?
Take care, my friends. Business and everything to all.
All right, toodaloo.
Stop the recording, yep, and then we can
Did
exit.
it stop the recording thing?
Yes, ready, you did? Okay.